In this video help, we're returning to the consignor data screen, and we're going to review the consignor contract. Let's go ahead and open it. The consignor contract was established to manage information and how you interact with the consignor. The reason for this is there are some consignors that try to run little games on you. And for example, some of the things we suggest for a consignment store, if they're not already doing it, is that when a consignor brings in products that they want to put in their inventory and have it in for consignment, they tend to sometimes think that they can come in and drop a box on the floor or something like that and then leave and expect you to figure out what they have and what the price of it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to take advantage of the consignor to have a contract. In fact, it is a great idea to manage your individual consignors. And in this way, within version 4, what we've done is we've added a contract, but guess what? This one has as many pages as you need. In 3.5, we had 2 pages. This one has an endless number of pages if you want to run that many pages. You can always come back and have a different contract that has different terms depending on what the consignor is doing. For example, they may have more than one account. One may be a picker account where they go around and pick up stuff at different auctions or other things like estate sales. Then they bring the stuff to you to consign and sell for them on a resale. Now, in this particular case, what we're doing is we're showing a popover for that particular contract. And what you do is you go ahead and put your company data in here as far as your business data. And you can use the formatting and everything to change this any way you want to as far as up in this area. Now, this is a global field, and what that means is the global field allows you to do it once, and then it shows up in every contract thereafter. As you can see on this page, it just keeps going forward. Now, the contract sign or signature here is what you do is put the name of the person in here and let them sign on the contract somewhere. It's your choice where you want them to sign. This is automatically the consignor ID is added to the contract, and then you put in the date for that particular contract that you're setting up and running. You can also, if you need to, go ahead and sweep a page, copy it, and then on another consignment client, you can go to that one and paste it back in if you want to have a standard contract. And you can also obviously continue on as much as you want. Now, if you need help doing a consignment contract, go ahead and contact us, and we can give you some examples of what they should have in them. One of the main things you want to make sure is that you provide an opportunity for the consignor to have something that is clearly defined as far as how they are supposed to do business with your business. And in some cases, what happens is they may challenge your terms or something like that. And actually, if they don't want to work within your contract, I suggest that you do not let them do business with you, because they're looking to get around some of the terms. For that reason, this contract will provide you with an opportunity to manage different people in different ways, because you can have ultimately any kind of contract you want. And I hope that this new feature is embraced by everybody. Don't go, or I shouldn't say don't go, it's your choice to not have contracts. If you don't have a contract, you have no leverage on a consignor if they do something that is a negative thing for your business. If you don't have a contract with their signature on it, they can come back to bite you. So let's go ahead and do contracts. And the same thing goes with the rest of the application. I'm going to point out some things about the application that are important. For example, there's a lot of data fields in all the screens that you look at. And if you go into where you actually are adding data and something like that, and you decide, I don't need to put this in there, or I don't need to put that in there, it'll come back to you later on that it's probably a very good idea to have all the information that you can put in the application. This is trimmed down to the size where there are about 25 fields in doing this area here, and this is the most of what you're going to be doing when you're working with this application. You're putting in the items and declaring what they are, how much they should sell for, how the application should look as far as when it shows information on other screens, so that you have the proper documentation for everything you're working with. And the next thing we're going to cover is, if you have photographs, it helps you also to have photographs, especially of items that are expensive, and you want to make sure that everything on that item is correct and looks like it should be when you go ahead and put it on the floor for sale. If you come back and somebody brings it up and says, well, this is damaged or this is missing or whatever, you should put in notes when you take the item in, and it's an as-is sale at that point, because the note should provide you with anything that you saw on the day that the item came in, and it's item by item, so this particular field will keep all the information as far as you're concerned. And as you add additional items, you should make sure that you do these same things, like cover all the things that may be wrong with it or whatever. One of the things that we ask you to do as far as date ranges, I put it right in here so you can keep information. This means greater than or equal to and a date, less than or equal to and another date, or just this one. If you're going to do it, take off this top piece and it'll go for infinity. Because say sometimes you are at the beginning of the month, or maybe at the middle of the month or the end of the month, and you want to see what activity you had during that month, you can run this anytime you want to in the portals. You have to do this from the portal, run this particular script here, and if you want to enclose it, so say like you start at the beginning of the month and then you want to see the end of the month right after it passed, you can bracket that by saying 6/1/2017 and 6/31/2017. What that'll do is it'll only work on the items that are in that range. And then if you wanted to, you could say, I only want the icon, the ID consigner for this number 1 or 2 or whatever the number is, and just to see their stuff, and then go ahead and go over to your list view for your items view, and then you'll be able to see all those items for that person. And of course you can also run the consignment report, which is down in the, let's see here, up here, consignment report. Like everybody else, I have to get used to the way the application works to find everything in it. So I click on the consignment report, and this is the one we covered a little while ago that has all the data that you need to manage, and it also has the information as far as doing paying commissions and everything else that you want to put as far as information for this particular buyer. Obviously every item that sells in here is what you want to look for as far as paying commissions, so you would have to do a search, start a search, make sure that you put in, when it goes to the magnifying glasses in blank fields, make sure you look for this particular field and you put in the status of sold or sold store for the items that have sold. Now when sold store comes up, that's usually not for that particular user unless it's the store itself, so you don't have to worry about that unless you're running your own activity where you have sold store. So sold store is activity where everything that is sold store will go to the store itself. If there are sold store stuff in that was sold because it expired and it was returned or donated, the items for that would not show up on the commission report because it would go into the store account as far as who gets paid for it. Okay, so that's a little bit of information to help you, just so that you know, every once in a while we'll create a video. If somebody asks a question that we don't have in the videos, we could start another video and put it on your system so that you'll be able to have more information about the updates and what's going on with changes that we may have made on the application. If you're one of our people that is on the cloud, those changes actually can be implemented or custom made for you at the time that you wish for. And what we would do is we go ahead and sign into your account, make those changes and update them, and as soon as we've updated them, they're ready for you to use right away on your cloud version. Other versions, like the one on FileMaker Go, which is a product that's free from the iTunes store, that would run on your iPad or your iPhone. There's two different versions, one for the iPhone and one for the iPad. those applications have the setup that it does everything that the application does. Is if you bought it on the iTunes Store or you bought it from us as a custom app. When you do an FM Go, the FM Go application has more features to manage the actual running of the application, and it helps to be able to print and do other things. Now I want to point out one thing too, that there are some places where you cannot do page setup, but you can do print. Page setup is restricted to some devices that they won't do it. Page setup is something that if you have an issue and you need to do page setups, we have a workaround for that with page setups. In new versions that are coming out in the future, we expect that the cloud will have page setup and some other things included in the application on the cloud. Right now it does not have that. We have not done it yet, but we're going to be doing a short video that will give you an appearance of what's going on and how to use the FM Go application and do certain things on FM Go that are included in this, but in a different way they implemented it. So we will want to help you out by giving you another video. If you have any questions, as usual, you can contact us by going to the Do Action and go down here to Support and click on the Support button. And when you get to this our website, go ahead and click on the chat. If we're not in the office at that time, go ahead and add your email and a question at the same place that would you click for chat help. Thank you.